Hey folks, Jack from Moonshift Audio here. In this video, I'm going to show you a super easy tip that I use on literally every mix I do to allow you to do all the volume automation you could possibly want while still leaving the faders in your mixer free to adjust the overall level of your tracks. Let's jump into Cubase and take a look. Okay, so I've got the session here from the Future Island style track that I produced and mixed a little while ago. And I'm just going to have a look to start with at the hi-hats because I did a bit of automation on the volume for these. You can see that through this first verse I just had a very subtle slow push on the fader there just to build a bit of urgency and build some energy through the verse.
It might take over me. There is a special place.
Now you can see here in the mixer, this is the hi-hat fader,
Just down by the lake.
and I've literally just automated that in the way that you would in a lot of DAWs. And then there was another issue in the chorus where the open hat was much louder, so I pulled the fader way back there
I know it's always
to compensate. Now this is absolutely fine and I used to do this all the time, but the problem lies, let's say I just want to turn the hats up. I've taken the mix away and I'm not happy with the level of the hats overall. I want to give them a boost. I want to raise this fader, but it's locked in because of the automation that's on it. So I can either come back in, grab my whole arrangement and turn all of that up like that, or down if I wanted to, which is one way of doing it, but it will scale the automation. So that's not ideal. Another way is to put a gain plugin in the chain there, and now I can quite simply just boost or cut the overall level of those hats. Let's put a couple of dBs in.
I know, my darling.
Perhaps a little bit too much, but you see what I mean. I can actually get an overall level change for the whole part by doing that. So the other way of doing this is to put the gain plugin right at the end of my channel strip after all the other processing. You can see right at the bottom here, this is the bass guitar we're looking at now. And instead of automating the fader, the main fader for the track, which is over here, we can automate the gain plugin. So here we have
There is
a nice boost in volume throughout the verse, very much like the hats we're doing. I'm going to make this a lot more exaggerated so you can really hear what's going on.
It might take over
So you should hear the bass coming up.
There is a special place. Just down by the lake. And when I'm looking out,
Getting louder and louder and louder. But what if I now want to change the overall level of the bass throughout the whole track? Well, all I need to do is hop over here and I've got access to this fader for the channel. This is particularly useful when I'm doing a mix for a client, and for example, if we go down here, I've got a load of quite complicated vocal automation here. I've just done this for the example of this video, but you can see I've actually got two layers of gain automation. I've got a gain plugin on the channel, exactly how I just showed you. So right at the last insert there, I've got a gain plugin, and what I'm doing there is I'm putting just over a dB in for the choruses just to help the vocal pop and give the track a bit of a lift. And then down here, I'm actually using another type of automation. I'm automating the output of the limiter on the channel strip. It's not doing any limiting, it's literally just another gain stage, and I've actually recorded this in using a controller to give me a bit more control, and I'm just giving the gain a little bit of a push at the end of each phrase. So I'll solo the vocal here and you can hear what we're getting out of that.
silence, wait for it to break.
It's perhaps a little bit heavy-handed, but what you get is a little bit of a sustain on the end of each phrase.
In my heart of hearts, I know it's always there, and I don't.
So as the voice is trailing off, you just push the gain a little bit, and that just helps to give you a more natural sounding increase in the sustain of that last word than you might get just by slamming the whole thing with a compressor. So that's a little bonus tip there. But what I've actually effectively got here is one sort of very broad and small adjustment of the overall level with this gain plugin here. pushing it up in the verses. Another one where I'm doing my micro automation of the volume of this vocal. And then let's say the client comes back and says, I want the vocals higher in the mix. Then I can still go to the fader here and just push it up, and that's done without having to come in here and start messing with all my automation that I've spent a long time getting just right. And there you have it. That is my quick tip for saving you potentially quite a lot of time on your fader or volume automations. If you found this video useful, please do like and subscribe for more tips, tricks, resources and downloads from me at Moonshift Audio. Till next time.